Well, now what? All that happened to him was he lost an eye.
Oh, I don't know. I'd say he took a pretty good gut punch.
Hmm.
And he also knows he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
This punched a hole right through the middle of a theory that I've been holding on to for 2.5, almost 3 years.
What was your theory?
It wouldn't have come to fruition for probably another 2 years, maybe even 3 years, depending on how long ArenaNet wants to drag this out. My theory is about the end of Guild Wars 2 as a game. Not because it would be canceled, not because big controversy, but like if ArenaNet is allowed to complete Guild Wars 2, run it through its entire story, and hang up their hat and say, job well done, we did the best we could, okay?
Right.
My theory is that Aurene, well, was going to be a brand new 7th Elder Dragon with her own army of minions and her own domain.
Yeah.
The reason I say this is Aurene is the granddaughter of an Elder Dragon, fair to say, and she's a protected dragon. Everybody who comes across Aurene who's never met her before, who's not the player, they're like, oh shit, a dragon minion. We have to convince them she's good. So she is a protected dragon.
Yeah.
Also, as seen in this episode, she is known to absorb the capabilities of other Elder Dragon minions, especially when an Elder Dragon is defeated. You don't see it when she's first, or you actually do see it when before she's hatched. When Mordramoth was killed, when Mordramoth was destroyed, whatever, the egg absorbed some of that power. And so when Aurene, you notice Aurene doesn't look like Glint. Aurene does not look like, what was her brother's name? Vlast.
Yeah.
Aurene does not look like Kralkatorrik. She has crystals on her, yes, but does she not look an awful lot like Mordramoth?
She does.
Does she not have the wings of Zaitan?
Yeah.
Before she was hatched, she was modified by the destruction of 2 Elder Dragons, meaning she took into her the powers of 2 Elder Dragons. She may not be able to wield it yet, but she does have it within her waiting to be used. She's still learning how to be a crystal dragon, okay? She's still figuring that out. In this episode, you saw her create her own brand, her own type. The turquoise crystals, right? That's her version of branding. And she is capable of converting others into her minions. Now, regardless of what Kaith and the commander said, Kaith was a minion. She could hear the words of her master.
Yeah.
And she did have crystals in her, so she was, for all intents and purposes, a branded. The difference is, Aurene chose not to dominate that particular minion. She chose not to dominate Kaith. There was a connection, but she chose not to impose her own will, okay? So, technically, yes, Kaith was indeed a minion. So, we know she has at least the physical characteristics of 2 other Elder Dragons, including her grandfather. We know she's capable of branding. We know she's capable of creating her own minions. But that's just in this one episode here, okay? In previous episodes, and she's also protected. Wherever Aurene goes, don't attack her. We also know she is capable of absorbing the power of others. By the way, this has led to the current popular theory is that because she ate Joko, she may have and this is what I've been hearing. This is the rumor. This is the popular theory. The popular theory is that because she ate Joko, she may have imbued some of his resurrection capability. So a lot of people are thinking that's how she might come back.
Yeah.
The other thing, and this really solidified it, and it was actually in the previous episode, season 4, season 4, episode 4? This is 5, yeah. So, episode 4, Arene is crucial. She is keystone to the defeat of Krakatork, not just in beating the snot out of him, but in previous episodes we learned that it's actually bad. In season 3, in season 3, before we knew Krakatork was alive, we learned that destroying Elder Dragons is actually bad. Now, we'd already destroyed 2 Elder Dragons. We didn't know it at the time, but now we do.
Yeah.
The reason it's bad to destroy Elder Dragons is because the natural latent magic within all of Tyria, within the planet, becomes unstable.
Yeah.
So if you destroy an Elder Dragon, the natural magic that exists in the entire world, that is natural, it's always there, becomes more unstable, becomes unmanageable, and eventually it'll literally tear the planet apart. So
Right.
that's why it was a bad idea to kill Krakatork. The solution is to have Arene take Krakatork's place. Yes, you have to defeat Krakatork, but at the same time you must have that transfer of power, of magic, of whatever. It must be transferred from one Elder Dragon to a Dragon Minion, or whatever the process. That's what the Pact, that's what Dragon's Watch is thinking right now. So again, you want to protect Arene, and you want her to absorb the power of an Elder Dragon. You want her to become an Elder Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the theory. So with all of this said, it basically means you've got a dragon minion running around consuming all the magic and powers that it wants to, unrestricted, because, quote-unquote, it's on our side.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's my theory. Arene is destroyed, and this Arene was torn apart as a result of this episode, okay? They killed Arene. So this theory has just been blown out of the water, okay? This theory just, nobody saw this coming. But anyways, if they hadn't killed her, if they had succeeded here, Arene would become the replacement for Krakatork. Whether she would grow to be as big as him, we don't know. I'm suspecting she would. She would be something similar size. She might be more along the lines of the Shatterer. You know, she might be something like that. Which would be an interesting choice. Or maybe, what's it called? Shadow of the Dragon, which was one of Morgemoth's critters. Excuse me. So, she's allowed to grow, and she becomes an Elder Dragon. She becomes a champion, eventually she becomes an Elder Dragon, and she's protected, and she's allowed to roam freely, because, quote-unquote, she's on our side. But here's my thing. The spell... Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Glint was, indeed, the champion of Krakatork. She was the right-hand dragon of Krakatork, right?
Yeah.
It was the Exalted and the Forgotten, 2 races that don't exist anymore. They were the ones who performed the spell to convert Glint.
Yeah.
Now, whatever reason they chose Glint, they're like, hey, if we can get to Krakatork's right-hand man, or woman, I guess, then that will give us a leg up in defeating the Elder Dragons the next time they wake up.
Yeah.
But Glint had not birthed Arene nor Vlast's eggs yet when she was converted. Those eggs happened after she was converted. So my theory is that the spell that was used to convert her to quote-unquote good may or may not have been passed on to her offspring. Which means Arene and Vlast. Now, so the same, the kind of the thing that keeps Arene distinguishing right and wrong is her connection to us, the protection of the Exalted when she was a hatchling, and Kaith's babysitting.
Yeah.
Okay. But when Aurene gains that much power, Elder Dragon or no, my theory is that that spell that was used on Glint is not going to carry over, is not going to be as potent on Aurene as it was on her mother. And
Yeah.
she's got... And then her brother was killed, despite trying to defend good. And she also knows that her brother struggled with the choice to defend good. He fought with it, and we heard it. So she's going to be discouraged by this. You team that up with, in the previous episode, she had a ton of visions, and then she up and ran away because she was so scared. Aurene was scared. She didn't want to die. That was in episode 4. She's going to be discouraged. She may not be able to do it. Like, what the hell's the point if it's not going to work? What's the point of defending good if good is going to be destroyed, if we can't be... You know? So she's going to give in to despair. And despite what the commander, and despite what Kaith, and despite what Taimi and the others and Dragon's Watch are saying, she's going to despair deeply. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And now she has the power of an Elder Dragon. Now she knows... Because right now she's only seeing it from one side. She's only seeing it from a dragon minion fighting against her ultimate master. Now that she is the master, she's literally seeing the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
My theory is that Aurene eventually, by the time Primordus, Kraukatork, Jormag, and whatever the hell they're going to call Bubbles, by the
I
time
still think they should call it Bubbles anyway.
I don't know. They might have one of Dragon Watch say, "Hey, why don't we just call it Bubbles and call it good?" You know, they might make a joke about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, when all 6 of the Elder Dragons are finally defeated, whatever that is, Aurene is going to be literally the last dragon standing. No more champions, no more minions. She's the last one. She not only has the power of the Crystal Dragon, she now has the power of the... Oh, what is Zaitan? Power of Death? Power of Resurrection? Something like that. And then you've got Morgemoth, which is the power of the mind. You've got Kraukatork, which is the power of... branding, I think? Domination? Might be domination, I'm not certain.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jormag and Primordus, who I don't think at this point, I don't think they've determined the ArenaNet's quite figured out what those two represent. And we certainly have, like, Bubbles, they haven't even addressed Bubbles. We know there's 6 Elder Dragons, we know there's a Water Dragon, but that's all we know. So when all of them have been defeated, Aurene is going to have absorbed the power of all 6 Elder Dragons. At that point, her Dragonair nature is going to take over all the conditioning, and her despair and her depression and her, well, what the hell's the point, is going to build up, and it's going to override her upbringing, and she will become the 7th Elder Dragon. And so the final chapter, the final living world, the final expansion of the game will be the commander either trying to convince, to the very bitter end, to bring Aurene back to the good side, or it will be about the destruction. The commander, the Pact commander, killing Aurene. That is my theory. That is how I think Guild Wars 2, in its entirety, the entire game, however many expansions, my theory, Aurene is going to be is going to be a new 7th Elder Dragon, and we're going to have to go through her army, and we're going to have to kill her.
I could see that.
And I've been holding on to that theory ever since Living World Season 3, middle of Season 3. I was like, whoa, Aurene can absorb powers and she's protected. And then Season 4, Episode 4 came out, 3-4 months ago, and said, oh yeah, you're the key. We're going to replace you with an Elder Dragon. I'm like, oh my god! I wish I could have recorded my reaction then. I was like, oh my god, yeah! My theory's proven! And then they killed her. So...
It's all up in the air now.
It's all up in the air now. I mean, they still... The thing is, in Guild Wars 1, you had the Bloodstone.
Yeah.
That was what held the magic together when the Elder Dragons were still sleeping 250 years ago. So it was the Bloodstone that I want to say the six human gods created the Bloodstone or something like that, something along those lines. And that was used as kind of a regulator. As long as the Elder Dragons were not awake, the Bloodstone would protect things. Now, I didn't play Guild Wars 1, but I do know that the original Bloodstone, which was a huge freaking thing, that was destroyed at some point, and it sprayed out all across the continent. By the way, that's where we get our Bloodstone dust harvesting thing. That's where it comes from, because it's dust. And then if you go to Bloodstone Fen, you get Bloodstone rubies. Let's see, where's Bloodstone Fen? It's way up there. You get Bloodstone Fen. They had the White Mantle managed to reassemble part of a small fraction of the original Bloodstone.
Yeah.
So when the 6 Elder Dragons are gone and Arene finally goes apeshit and we have to kill Arene, the question is, what are you going to use in place of the Elder Dragons?
Yeah.
Well, originally they used the Bloodstone, but the difference is that the Elder Dragons had not been destroyed when the Bloodstone was around. So clearly something else is going to happen, or going to have to happen here. Something that we have not heard about yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Arene's going to be enough. Like, you've got the great Elder Dragon. She's going to fly off into the sunset, and all's well with the world for the next 10,000 years. Not the way this game works. No. She's not just going to take a big old nap for 10,000 years, and then that's it. No. No way. No, I think she will need to be killed. And I don't think all the pleading from the commander and Kaith and Ritlock and Timey, if Timey's still around at this point, that's not going to work. It's not going to be enough. And there you can bring all the sirens in that you want to, and you could bring in the entire pact, and they could all be singing hallelujah, and it's not going to work. My theory is that Arene is going to become the 7th Elder Dragon, and that at the end of Guild Wars 2, when the last chapter is played, Arene will be killed by us.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they will come up with a solution. Arene, ArenaNet will come up with something to take the place of the Elder Dragons, or at least in terms of providing stability to the world, but like, no, I don't think so. And like I said, that's 2 or 3 years off. The current rumor is that, we know, there's 2 more chapters to this season.
Okay.
So
we'll end at 7.
And it's 7 episodes, 7 episodes in season 4, season 4, and then either in fall or early 2020, we're going to jump straight into Living World season 5. That's already been confirmed, so they're already working on it.
Yeah.
And then the theory is that by either late 2020 or 2021, we may get the next expansion, whatever that is, because expansions are jumps in technology. They're jumps in programming, as opposed to Living World chapters where they're killing time and kind of using what's already been given to us in what was it, the previous expansions. So the first expansion, Heart of Thorns, was gliding. The second expansion was mounts.
Yeah.
And at each stage, they've also given us the elite specializations. So, other than elite specializations, where else do you go other than gliding and mounts, which is high mobility, increases in mobility and the ability to explore. And then you have elite specializations. Where can you go from there? And it's already been a year. It's been a year and a quarter since Path of Fire came out.
Water.
Yeah, water. So they're going to have to do water mobility. And they kind of gave us a small patch for that 6 months ago with whatever those bubble things were that I totally haven't used yet.
Yeah.
And then yes, they tweaked underwater combat, but I mean, where do you go from there? I think they're killing time. That's why they're going straight from season 4 into season 5. So they're killing time. They're trying to come up with alternatives. Like, what else can we do for elite specializations? And what else can we do to,
Like,
prepare for the water dragon?
yeah, I mean, outside of opening weapons for everybody, yeah.
Outside of what, I'm sorry?
Outside of opening weapons for everybody.
I don't understand opening weapons.
Adding every weapon to every class.
Oh,
What I'm saying.
yeah, eventually that'll happen, yeah.
Outside of that, there's, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see Elementalist with a great sword. That could do both melee and ranged combat. I would love to see that. I would be so happy, because, that's a whole other thing. I can rant about that another time. But, I don't know. People are thinking she ate Joko, so either Joko's going to wake up, or it's going to be Aurene mixed with Joko, or...
Yeah.
We might have to go back to the realm of the lost, or whatever it is, and we might have to find Aurene or find Joko and try and bring him back, or maybe we'll try and talk. We can't go to the 6 gods anymore because they're all gone. Cormyr was the last one to leave.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be around.
Yeah.
Who else is left? Maybe somebody they haven't introduced yet.
It's possible.
Everybody thinks that killing Aurene this early is a red herring. Everybody thinks it. I mean, it surprised the hell out of me. It's like you had this set up so nicely, and they dedicated so much story and dialogue and, whatchamacallit, to build up to that point. Why would you suddenly kill her?
Yeah.
You only kill her if you have a way of bringing her back. Or to kill time and say, we don't know what to do. So we'll find out in April, I think is when the next chapter comes out.
Oh, all right.
Maybe they'll give us a whole chapter without... Because as it stands right now, this is a hell of a blow. This was the commander's idea.
Yeah.
She said, let's go early. What better time is there?
Yeah.
And also Kanak, in his ever-present charm, said, you know this is batshit insane, right? Somehow you managed to pull it off, but this is insane. Well, he's right. This time, it didn't work. So now we have this idea. I mean, with the release of Episode 5, now we have this idea floating around. What the hell is the Pact going to do about this? What the hell is Elonia going to do about this? What the hell is Dragon's Watch going to do about this? Their great plan failed. By the way, I should point out, the loss of Aurene is very similar to the loss of Snaf to Destiny's Edge.
Yeah.
And Bram in Episode 4, Season 4, Episode 4, he actually had to talk to the ghost of his mother to bring him back, to, say, you need to cool your heels and come back to us,
Yeah.
So he might run off. And then you've got Timey is hurting like hell. And she's being a little trooper, but it's coming back. It has come back. You've got Kaith, who had to sort things out. She finally got things back together, and she got converted into Aurene's speaker, I'll say, and as soon as she was converted, bam, Aurene's gone. A glimpse into the light, into the sunlight, and that's suddenly been yanked away from her. That's gone.
Yeah.
Gorak, I don't know. Well, Gorak's not part of Destiny. He's not part of Dragon's Watch, so I don't know what they're going to do with him. But, and then you've got Ritlock, who has lost to Kralkatork not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So Destiny's Edge, damn it, Dragon's Watch is in the very same position. We are now witnessing firsthand what happened to Destiny's Edge. I think it's 10 years earlier. In game, it was about 10 years earlier. We are witnessing that now.
Yeah.
And we get to... So not only have we lost a very valuable member of the team, but we've also failed to defeat an Elder Dragon. And it's literally pouring salt in the wound that it was Kralkatork specifically.
Yeah.
So you ask me where are they going to go? Well, they're going to do... I mean, ArenaNet's going to come up with something to defeat Kralkatork, but do it without Aurene, that's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
So I have no idea where they're going to go with it. They will bring Aurene back. At least I hope they'll bring Aurene back. If they don't, it's going to be whoa. There might be actually a there might be a break in the fan base. There might be a break in the player base. They might be like, whoa, what the hell did you just do?
Yeah.
I think that might have been the reason why Aurene comes in East Joko so unexpectedly. Like, okay, we need a way out later on. Here's how we do it.
Yeah.
We gave her all these
I can see
visions,
that.
so what are we going to do? We're going to have her eat Joko to introduce the possibility of. But, I don't know. A lot of people are going to be questioning the commander now. Like, okay, you forced this, it was your call to make, and it didn't work, and we lost one of our greatest allies.
Yep.
A lot of people are, and that's not even talking about the pact itself. Because, what's his name? Logan. He's the pact marshal. He took Traherne's place, so he's the head honcho of the pact. He's not going to be happy about it either. How many soldiers did he lose? How many resources did he lose? He wanted to wait a week.
Yeah.
So I think the next episode is going to be dealing with the fallout of this commander. We put an awful lot of faith in the commander, and they let us down. So I think the next episode is going to deal with that. On top of which, the commander, being the champion of Aurene, has lost Aurene. So all of a sudden, one of her greatest allies and her greatest support is now gone.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to bring Aurene back in episode 6. I don't see that happening. If they bring her back.
Yeah, it's too soon.
It's too soon. Yeah, there has to be an episode where she's not around. At least one episode where she's not around.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see the play out of season 4 until June or July. That'll be the end of season 5. Season 4. Season 5 might kick off in fall. If there isn't some sort of delay in there or something.
Yeah.
Ugh. Rough to watch. And that last section where we're actually like literally face to face with Krakatork, I was stuck behind a branded crystal for 5 minutes. I could hear things, but I couldn't do anything. So just, ugh. So yeah, I kind of needed to go in there. So, can't win them all, I suppose. Maybe that's the point they were trying to make.
Possibly.
Oh man. Oh. Now that you've seen that, I gotta show you. I gotta show you a video. God damn it, Noxie.